That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Comic Reviews. I got somewhere to be, so I'm going to try to get this done quick so you get the episode on time, not super late at night, and I still get to be punctual. So let's go ahead and get started with the last thing I read, as always, which is Star Wars Poe Dameron number 6. We completed the prison break, and BB-8 got to take down a giant metal fucking badass looking robot, and that was an extremely badass thing. There's your BB-8 feats for your BB-8 versus other fantasy robots battles. Shit got real. The prison break happened. Trex is an asshole. Just a really cool. I'm really liking this book. The first story arc was kind of iffy. This story arc is where it's really picking up and really getting steam. And now we got some spy stuff happening too. I'm quite excited to keep reading this book. A little bit of a rocky start, but it's going along really well. Leia shows up. Yeah, I'm quite enjoying this. This is a pretty good issue. I wouldn't say to skip the first story arc, but it's definitely worth reading the second one. Yeah, I'd say just get through the first story arc if you're not quite feeling it, because the second story arc really makes this book worthwhile. I'm not sure if this is going to be like an ongoing, or if they're going to kind of end this after a certain number of issues. Because that's kind of the problem with the prequel comic is, well, you can only go so far unless they start showing you how Poe got off Jakku, which I suppose that could work. We could redo that part of Force Awakens and show you how he got off planet, and then that would take us, off planet and then back to the Resistance base, and that would take us to where he shows back up in Force Awakens. So I guess you could pull that off. I'm not sure where you go from there, but that seems doable. I don't know. We'll see how long this ongoing can last, or if they start going to like post Force Awakens stuff with Poe. Who knows? Let's go ahead and move on to Batman Beyond number 16, the final issue of this series. And I just want to establish, we had Batman Beyond book in the old 52. And then the 52 ended, and we started up new 52. And we were like brief period without any Batman Beyond. And then we started Batman Beyond Unlimited, where we did the Superman Beyond and the Justice League Beyond stories in there too. And then we ended that book and had a brief period of time without any Batman Beyond. And then this garbage run started up. Sorry, Dan Jurgens, this is not a good run. This garbage run started up, and we had Batman Beyond, but it was really, really poor quality Batman Beyond compared to the Unlimited run, which was fantastic, and the old 52 run, which was refreshing to have Batman Beyond back. Okay, so now this run is over, and we're now in DC Rebirth, and we're getting Batman Beyond Rebirth in like 2 weeks. Oh, DC doesn't know what it's doing. This issue is just okay. Honestly, I'm just excited to have Jurgens getting off this, hopefully. Or, I don't even need Jurgens to get off of it, because I feel the way he writes Terry is pretty good. I don't really have much of a problem with how he's writing the actual Batman Beyond crew. Now, what I'm worried about is that DC Rebirth Batman Beyond is going to be, like, in reaction to this, and I don't want that. There's a stinger page at the end, which makes me think that won't happen. Tim Drake decides, okay, I'm not really meant to be Batman. I'm just going to go out, and, like, I got thrown in this reality because of bullshit time travel, whatever. And this is, as long as I save my Earth, that's fine. And this is a okay place to be. But I don't really need to be Batman, and I don't need to be here. So I think I'm just going to go out and explore this new world I'm left in. And so then we get, Terry gets to be Batman again. Batman is back. I like that. Terry gets to be Batman again. I don't like this page. Terry just has this really... I get that he's supposed to be happy and smiling, but it looks just a little creepy. That head doesn't look like it quite fits there for some reason. It feels like it was pasted over from someone else. Never really understood the Batman Beyond mouth. It never made much sense. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's weird. But anyway, so the issue ends with Tim Drake going riding out into the world, and then suddenly he just gets gulfed up in a blinding flash of light. So 3 weeks for Batman Beyond Rebirth, my bad. He gets taken up in a blinding flash of light, so I guess the idea is that he's not in this world anymore. I doubt it's going to tie in with Tim Drake and, DC Rebirth continuity. My hope is that Tim Drake disappearing from the timeline reset everything, and so Terry McGinnis is just Batman Beyond in his normal Batman Beyond universe with old Bruce Wayne and all that stuff. I doubt that'll happen, but that would be nice. Tom King, why do you gotta make me feel so much? And that's a good by the way, but damn it! This is so fucking emotional, man. It's sad, and I'm sad. I don't want to be sad right now. Tom King, why you gotta make me happy that I'm reading something that's so good and it's making me sad? The fuck, Tom King. Literally, the fuck. But yeah, so Gotham Girl is just fucking spiraling out of control, and it's depressing, and man, it's so crazy. And then he does the Morrison thing of putting these whack-ass characters in and just using them as background villains. We have Colonel Blimp, who is stealing the submarine out of Gotham Bay and demanding $30 million in 30 minutes. Gotham Girl takes care of him just completely passively, and she's so distant, and it's so creepy, and it's unsettling. And then we have a pirate, Captain Stingery. I think that might be an actual character, but I'm not entirely sure. And then we have Kite Man show up. And just, my god. Okay, so who's doing the art? Is it still Finch? No, Reese. Ivan Reese? One moment, please. Yeah, Ivan Reese. Ivan, you got a little bit lazy on the background work, but I'll give it to you because it's at least in impactful-ish moments. Just a lot of white or solid color backgrounds in this book. There's this moment where Batman tries to talk to her and make her feel all right and all that stuff. And she just flies away. And so Batman takes a moment to talk to Alfred. And he's like, Alfred, sir, when it happened, mother and father, how did you help me? Master Bruce, with all due respect, each night you leave this perfectly lovely house and go leaping off buildings dressed as a giant bat. Do you really think I helped you? And then that's picked up on later in a scene with Batman and Gotham Girl. It says, Gotham Girl, please, I'm not here to help you. I thought maybe you could help me, like you're helping this city. I need to know something. I need to know why you're helping this city. Hank, you think Batman would understand, right? The entire issue, she's talking to her brother as if he's right there. But no one understands, really. I mean, except you. You always understood. When it hurts so much when you're alone, helping Gotham makes it hurt less. Panel of Batman. So there's not, like, a choice, is there, Hank? You just have to... Claire. Batman talking. My name is Bruce Wayne. When I was 10 years old, a man murdered my mother and father in front of me. Before the police, when the sirens were... when I could only hear them, I held her, my mother's hand. It wasn't cold, but there was blood on her hand. My father was a good man, but I could never talk. He was very formal. But I could always just talk to my mother. She was the only one. The only one. And now, then, she was there. There was blood on her hand. But I just started. I talked. I even talked when the sirens, I talked. I talked to her. I had to. I still have to. Gotham Girl, I don't feel good. I know. I miss him. I know. I just miss him. I know. That's such a good scene. You can feel the hesitation, the vulnerability coming out of the characters' mouths. You can feel the pain just like it just happened. You can completely understand how Batman understands everything she's going through. That's some of the best Batman writing. Oh, the emotion, it just feels so human. It's perfect. And then we get a stinger scene with Batman and Amanda Waller that's setting up a story with Bane. And so I'm excited for that too. Just Jesus Christ, this stuff looks so good. Bane's a villain that no one uses. So this will be fantastic to read. Yeah, I'm really excited to see where this goes. Alright, final single issue of the week. We have Grant Morrison's 18 Days, number 15. We're almost at 18, which I assume ends it really, really abruptly. Kidding. I really am enjoying this. This is written how I like comics to be written, where there's an overarching story, but in between, like big chapters of it, I guess you'd call it, we just get little moments, little one and dones, essentially. And that's what we get here. But I like, and I definitely get this feeling, we get one and dones that stand really well on their own, but also help to inform things for stuff to happen later on in the story. I really like that. That's like perfect comic book writing to me, as far as structure goes. And the dialogue and the internal monologues, narration, all that stuff is written really well, too. For those of you, I know there are a couple out there that miss third-person narration in comic books. Like, there's not a ton of it, but there's a fair amount. It's not describing, like, every action, because is kind of an aside, but a lot of third-person narration in old comics was there just to make sure you understood what was happening on the page, because a lot of the artists weren't great. They just were, like, doing as many books as quickly as they could, so even though they may have been capable of great art, they certainly weren't producing their best work with comics. And the page quality was really shit, and just, all these other factors led to art that was at best passable. Like, if you looked at an old style comic in modern books and you didn't have like the knowledge to appreciate any nostalgic value, it would be completely unacceptable by modern comic book standards. So a lot of third-person narration was just there to make sure you were able to follow along with what was happening, whereas art's come far enough that you don't need as much as that. So if you're going to do third-person narration now, it has to serve a purpose. It has to be an intentional choice that is informing the story. And that's what's going on here. So we have opening third-person narration, and then there's a little bit more sprinkled throughout that just kind of helps as dressing for a scene. And then we get some, character talking covered over panels of what he's talking about. So there's even a little bit of that. And then the third-person narration returns, and I really quite like it. It's a story being told. I really like that. And I haven't talked much about this, but I like this. The back cover, as opposed to being an ad, is taking just a good quote from the book and putting it on the backs to let you know what the story is going to be about in some way, shape, or form, and you just get some more art. And so the quote on the back of this is the story of those who stand in the shadows of giants. And it's about these two brothers who are characters that have not had anything really major to do with the story. They're just two more warriors on one side of this battle. And so we get this fantastic opening narration of, "It is an odd thing to stand on the precipice of a new age, the uncertainty of what will be thrust upon us. A golden age of peace or an eon of darkness is palpable in the very air. At Krushtrukara," sorry, names, difficult, "super warriors battle one another for the fate of Bharat and the planet. They stride the treacherous battlefield as giants. And, as it is with giants, they cast a big shadow. But let us leave the battlefield of Kurashta, and journey back to when peace reigned over the houses of Kuru and Pandas." And then we got the family members that are now fighting as children, and they decide to go off on some kind of adventure to seek treasure. And with that, our 4 brave treasure hunters went to fight against the mighty Rashanka in the deep, dark forest. And then we just get the twins, show up to where everyone was training. It's like, "Yudish, we've come for our training." "Yudish? Oh, did you want us to follow them?" "Oh, no, sorry. This isn't their story. This is the story of those who stand in the shadows of giants." And we just got these 2 little kid twins. It's adorable and awesome at the same time! And so they get kind of annoyed that their family, their cousins, I think they are, oh, wait, did I just say it and then completely forget? No. So they get kind of annoyed that their cousins apparently always do this. When they're supposed to train with them, they just fuck off and go on some adventure. So no, what? Yeah, we'll go on an adventure too. Very kid-like thing. I quite enjoy that. And it fits with a lot of classic myth. You have a child who just ventures off into the woods seeking adventure and finds it. And that's what happens here. And I don't really care to tell you about the adventure that they go on, what happens to them. Though I will show you this panel, because that's a cool panel. That is a lizard man riding a flying skateboard. Do you want this book yet? Am I doing a good job selling you on this book? So yeah, that's just a thing that happens in this story. Is you see a lizard man riding a hoverboard around a futuristic city. But yeah, it's just a neat little story. It shows the boys are clever. And it sets up these characters that I imagine we'll see again very soon, because at the very end, the narration says, "But the people of Nimward never forgot the epic tale of Nakula and Shadiv's big adventure. And now, as they face their greatest battle, we watch in the shadows, waiting to help these great heroes when they need us most." So I have a feeling we're going to see these characters that they helped again, and just like we did with the Demon Child. And that's just good storytelling. It's maybe a little, I don't want to say cliche or trite, because that sounds inherently negative. It's certainly a very predictable pattern if you're going to keep doing that. But you know what? I don't care. It's enjoyable. It's not predictable in a bad way. It's just, oh yes, it's predictable if you understand how to tell a good story. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this series. It's a little, it's never bad. Some issues it's just okay. Some issues I forget everything that's going on because it's got a lot of balls up in the air. But it's always enjoyable to some extent or another, and like it goes from just okay to good. So it's more than I could say for some books. Batman Beyond. So yeah, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Comic Reviews. Just wanted to make an announcement. I'll be talking about this next week, Poison Ivy, Cycle of Life and Death. I have no idea what this is about. I have no idea the people involved with it at all. I really like the cover. As I look more at that, the roots in the form of a DNA strand is kind of cool. I have no idea what it's about. I've just been talking, or we did the episode of Geeky Gentleman on environmentalism and superheroes, which you can see right here, a couple weeks back, and I just want to read some Poison Ivy, so I figure the way to make DC put out more stuff with Poison Ivy is to just read stuff with Poison Ivy. I have no idea if this is going to be the approach that I want them to take with Poison Ivy, but I can hope. Yeah, that'll do it for this week's episode of Comic Reviews. I hope you enjoyed very much. Remember, you can leave suggestions for books that I should be picking up down in the comments below, and I will do my best to get a hold of them. Graphic novels and trades you can also leave down, but again, those are harder to come by, so I just promise to keep my eyes open for them. Alright everyone, thanks very much for watching.